Hey guys, welcome back to another Sims 4 build with me, your host Ripley Gamer. Today I am making a diner for Strangerville called the Route 66 Diner. Very obvious reference right there. Now, I wanted to make a diner because I've already made like a cool kind of saloon in replacing where the 8 Bells bar used to be in Strangerville, and normally this is a residential lot here, but because there isn't a lot of lots and I wanted to be able to put a diner in the main area of the town for Strangerville, I thought I'd put it here on Carpophagus Corner, I think it is. But I'm making the Route 66 diner. I was very excited to try and make this because I love Strangerville. I have mentioned that this is one of my favourite packs, and my playthrough of Strangerville is down in the description for you guys to watch if you're interested. I was very happy to play this game and I really enjoyed the storyline, and I love that you can now sort of make these sort of desert-esque like truck stop diners and like western bars and grills, that kind of thing. And I wanted to make a truck stop diner because that was something I've like looked at and it kind of inspired it, and I've not seen a lot of like truck stop diners like on Google and stuff, although I've never been to one because they're all in America and I've never been to America and I want to go to America soon, maybe in like a couple years or so, and like do like a proper touristy thing kind of idea. But this was like a sort of an inspiration for the Route 66 diner, and I wanted to basically go all American and get the roof out of the way because you know me, I'm not good with roofs. I'm not good with roofs no matter how hard I try. No matter how hard I try, I'm just not good with roofs. So I went with a very basic kind of diner look, using a lot of pictures I'd seen online of diners and getting like that sort of whatever that like foundation is, and I couldn't think what was going to go on the outside. I thought about using the Strangerville like bunker like metal, but it just didn't look right. Doesn't really go with the theme because it's not supposed to be old. So I think I ended up going with a siding, like wooden slat siding idea that I had. And I like the way this looked in the end. I have playtested it, it does work, and it is on the gallery to download onto my Origin ID Ripley Gamer. So I was very inspired for this by sort of Las Vegas style, Nevada-esque sort of diner ideas. The idea was to make a sort of truck stop diner that you would pass and eat at on your way through Strangeville. It's kind of like, it's a small town that you don't really stay in, but you more pass through because it's kind of, I'd say it's kind of tourist trappy would be my idea if you're going to somewhere like Las Vegas, for example, which is actually part of the inspiration behind it, because do you know what I'm hoping? I actually had this lovely idea that I've seen other simmers like talk about, which is to make a Las Vegas style game pack or expansion world, where you end up, you know, you make like casinos and hotels, and it's called like high stakes or something, and you make these fun like casino hotels, and you go to there's like maybe districts where you can have like really fancy houses, or like a little like area on the edge of the world where you have like smaller, those like vintage American houses, or you have like towns like Strangeville. And that was the idea for it to be like Strangeville is like a pit stop town on the way to somewhere like Las Vegas, for example, because like it's a weird town, but it's tourist trappy is the idea. And I actually had like a little idea with that when I get into the decorating later on. So I was going for quite a bit of a old-fashioned-esque. Like it was made in the 50s, like this diner has been made in the 50s. It's been renovated a couple times, but it always stays the same. It never really changes that much. So let's get for like these cool vampire pack sinks, which are great. And then I could not figure out which mirror to use in the bathrooms, which is a bit of a problem, but I went with these ones in the end, these back to work, get to work ones. And I did want to put bins in the bathroom, but I didn't have enough room in the end, so I just decided against it. And then I went and started putting lights in. Used these little source lights just to light up the place, and then of course I replaced... Did I replace them? I don't think I did. I might have. I might need to check, but I was looking for more sort of just lighting so I could make basically a sort of kitchen diner area. And the idea was to use these cool kitchen counters. And that would be like sort of where like you'd like have like loads of truckers sitting around like eating like the bacon, eggs, pancakes and stuff whilst they're like continuing on the road to deliver whatever's in their lorries. And that was like kind of an idea, like sort of truck stop esque, although it doesn't really like sort of look truck stoppy in the end. But I still enjoyed how the way it looked, and the idea for this was to be very like American desert was the theme I was going for. So I got this kind of cool. So I used this cool kitchen counter bit. Like it doesn't kind of match up, but there's not really any other diner-esque looking like counters that could work. But I think it looked okay from my perspective. And then I had a very small kitchen. And I say very small, it's very narrow. So I could put that in, and I do move it along later on because I needed to fit in something so it would fit a little bit better. So I've got like the kitchen, make it very industrial kitchen. That'd be where you cook all the food. And there would be like a door going out to the bins outside, and that would be where the Strangerville door, like a caravan door, came in, which I thought was actually quite cool. I love that you got like either old rusty ones or like kind of new ones. So I was going for, and because there's not a lot of room, there was going to be like shelving just to have like sort of like ingredients and stuff just sitting on the shelves, so you've got somewhere for certain supplies to go. But because you can't really move around in this kitchen, it's very small. And then I was going for, I forgot about the stools. I put all these out, and then I saw the stools, and I was like, I could use the dine out stools, and then I had to replace them all. And then I think I changed the colours because the red didn't look right, so I had to change them all back to blue. Because that's the thing when you're going back through it and you're like, oh yeah, that could have worked. And so I wanted to make like a half wall between the booths and the like where you sign in, essentially, to get a seat. And I was having a bit of trouble with the booths because these booths, you can't actually make two booths facing each other in Dine Out in Sims 4 without using BB Move objects on. And I think that's kind of sad that the way that's happened in Sims 4. Like, you've got these sort of American diner-esque seatings, but you can't make them look authentic without having to use cheats, which is it kind of sucks that that's the only option there. And I think maybe like the devs either didn't want to put it in or they forgot to implement it, but I think they did say that it was by design, which is a bit silly, because when you look at a lot of American diners, you see that this is like a very simple design, very easy to replicate, and one that looks like it's very vintage and authentic. I did make a diner before in the past called the Sunshine Diner, which I didn't do a video for, but I made it as a test because I wanted to make an American diner style, and I did forget to move that bench forward, so I do move that. Not in the video, I realised it after when I was play testing it, but I got all these booths, and I did have to adjust the size of the diner while I was working on these tables to get the booths all right, because I wanted there to be quite small, but you need quite a bit of space to get all the booths in, and that was all I had to do. And then of course I had a trouble because I had like an extra gap, and I was like, what am I going to do with this extra gap? So I'm like moving it around, trying to figure it out, and I think in the end I just moved the wall in, and that was all I had to do, and it worked in my favour. So I ended up moving everything across, because I was having like, it's a bit of a problem because there's no like thin version of these get-together windows that aren't, like slats for some reason. So I was a bit annoyed that there wasn't like a single like window version. So I ended up having like this gap in the end, which was fine because I could put I think I put something in there, I can't remember. But I am looking at this like, what am I going to do with this? I think I move everything over, and then I just move in the wall. I move the wall in, but then it means I've got like this extra like bit on top of the bathroom that I've got to fix on the roof, which I do fix quite well, because I was thinking about maybe doing like a half wall around it, but then I realised that looks stupid, so I just put like another roof over it. So it does look a little bit bigger, and we've got this problem here. So I just like try a half wall, hide the half wall, but then it just doesn't look right. It stands out a bit too much against the roof. So in the end I just get rid of it, and then I just put a tiny little roof there, just flatten it down and just curve it upwards, and then bring it into the roof so it kind of melds in just a little bit. It looks a little bit odd and sticks out funny, but that's the only flaw with it really. And then I forget to actually paint in one of the walls while I was building the front of the door here, because I'm using these get to work metal bars, which kind of work. They work, I think they work pretty well, and that allowed me to lower the diner a bit. And the only thing about this is that I do forget to paint that wall in, and you'll notice it in the screenshots, but I did paint it over. And if you download this, it's just the only thing you will need to fix, and also that table right by the door as well that I forgot to move over. So there's a couple tiny flaws that need to be resolved, but it's fine. It looks okay. Nothing's perfect, but I think I did a pretty good job with this. I am sort of new to building, and I'm getting better at building things. I do need to learn how to do roofs though, so I need to look up some roof tutorials and how to properly do roofs, because it's the one thing that I'm struggling with currently. And I'm grabbing all these things, and it annoys me that a lot of these things cannot be put on shelves. Like, devs, come on, what was the point of giving us shelves if only like 5 pieces of clutter were going to be able to be put on the shelves? That's a bit annoying, and I don't know how we're going to like fix them. Like, I filled up space by using like all 4 different coloured peppers, just the salt and peppers, and then I think I added in like a water purifier from Strangerville that I thought would work, and then I got rid of it because it just looked a little bit out of place. But there's a lot of things. There's like lots of clutter that go on tables and counters, but they don't go on shelves for some reason. And I just want to know, devs, why are you against shelves having cluster on them? Because it seems kind of weird. Is it because they're too narrow? Because that can be like fixed. Although I do have something that I really should have been using when I was building this, which was a clutter, or it's like a shelving mod that allows you to just basically put shelves up on walls, and then you can put clutter on counters and stuff, just fill up space. And that's one thing I probably should have used in this. In hindsight's 2020, but I do put these olive oils in here, and then I get rid of this water purifier, and I think I added in, I don't think I added anything there. I think I tried to put something in, but it didn't work, so I just left that bit at the shelf. Like, there's a bit of extra space there. And then just change the lights, put in these like kitchen lights. They're always the basic ones I use. I remember in Sims 2 where they had those lights, like the get-together light unlocked down there, but that was one thing I always thought was pretty cool, and I always used in my kitchens. So I'm putting in the back of the bar bit from Strangerville there, but I just have to move some of the kitchen stuff around. But it looks good because it looks like you can see like where your food's being done in the kitchen, and you got like this back bit of counter space. In the counters where you'll have like just some clutter and the cash register where you get your receipts, and then put a little air conditioning vent in, and then putting up all these picture frames with all the different like desert images, which I thought was really cool. I like them a lot. I wanted to use them all in this because I think I used them in the Silver Simoleon Saloon I made as well, and then putting some of these posters in as well, just for a little bit more to fill up the walls. Just to fill up the walls just a tiny bit. I thought about maybe putting some strange wall vines on, but nah. And then I put that out there because I'm going to go and put up one of the billboards on it later. And I had a fun idea with the plant, with the mother arm plant. And I love that piece of car. I love putting that on the wall. I think that's super cool. And I've got a little Krabby Bottom. Got to put a little Krabby Bottom on the counter because he's a little town mascot. He is. And then I thought about maybe using that clock thing, but I decided against that. Putting more of these up because these are pretty decent little pictures. I love these, by the way. I think the Strangerville pack has so many good build and buy stuff that they add, and I put a tiny little curio stand just at the end to sort of advertise the curio stand in town because it's like a tiny model version. And I put like up this flag here to represent the military that work in town and work nearby, and this mother arm plant. So what I did was I put it on the corner here, and I put a little card pack to advertise the curio shop and the unlockable plaque from the business career, because I want this idea of that. It's because this is very tourist trappy, and it's like, see the weird, mysterious like alien thing that we found. No one knows what it is, but then there's kind of like, and it's like authentic, but the authentic's in like speech marks, because people think that it might be, secretly a fake. People are just like, oh, this thing's not real. This ain't real. Who's gonna fall for that? Kind of make it look like a tourist trap kind of like toy, essentially, to try and bring in business and learn all about the weird alien plant thing that like lives in the secret lab kind of thing. And I love this. I love this sort of broken billboard sign. This was a brilliant addition to the game, and I was going through it to see which one looked like a truck stop diner-esque picture. I think that was the one I ended up using. It looks like a mechanic advertisement, but I think it's the best, like the closest one we got. Oh no, I used the 5 to 10 one, like the 7-Eleven kind of advertisement for the diner. And then I think I added in a couple more tables here, just to like fill up some space. Give it a little bit more space. There's a bit of big gap there, but that's fine, because you need that to advertise just so you've got space for the waiters and people to get around and stuff. And of course a little host booth here, and then everything is ready for the diner. And you do see me working on the outfits for the diner for all the staff, and I think you saw me looking at the menu as well. And then I added a couple more sciencey like posters here, just because an idea that maybe the science division who worked in town just like asked the diner to put a couple posters up, because if the military can do it, why can't they? And it looks pretty cool. And then I think I just needed to add ketchup and menus and stuff, and I realized that the ketchup and mustard menu bit condominium stand is all base game, and I thought it was Dine Out for some reason. And of course I was struggling to find it in the game because I have way too much clutter stuff now with all my CC. And of course the little like cards there just advertising the curio shop. Then I put all these little like menus in, and it was a big waste of time because I ended up taking them out because the ketchup condominium stand had menus in it and was a bit more like receptive to the diner atmosphere. These things look a little bit too fancy for my taste, so it seems a bit much. I do end up putting them on the diners, but I do take them away in the end. Yeah, there's the custom stand here, so I realised my mistake, so I had to put everything down and get rid of all those menus so I could start putting all the ketchup stands on, because that looks so much better and they look way more realistic for a diner, which I'm pretty pleased with. One thing I do want to put in here, which I don't think I ended up doing, was to put like maybe some like debug clutter in. I think there's like maybe salt and pepper, not salt and pepper ones, but like napkins if they have any, like small debug things just to fill up the space more, because I feel like there's not enough clutter in the game to fill up the space. So I put the little alien there, which I thought was cute, another crabby bottom armadillo, because that thing is super cute. More cards for this time, just advertised in the diner, the little like pack of like paper plates and napkins and stuff. And I thought about using the Strangerville like evidence stuff piled up, but nah. And then the little cool this little fun little astronaut man, which I put on the window bit there on the kitchen cooker bit, which I thought looked really well. And I was really happy with the way this thing turned out, the Route 66 diner. Checking the menu does look good. I might redo it when I put it down into my current dream house playstyle. And then I had to just go and quickly make the diner outfits, which is basic. I think it's the very basic like pink sort of waitress outfit, and I think I went with, did I go with pink or blue for the blokes? I think I went with pink. For the blokes as well, just because it's sort of, you know, it's a very typical diner-esque, especially one for like a small town where people will be working and like working in the local stuff to get by and keep the town floating, because this is very like, it'd be very like reliant on tourism. I would find the town of Strangerville mostly, and I think, yeah, that's the one I used, and I gave them pink as well, so it wasn't, you know, gender divided, I guess. You know, waiters don't have to wear blue and the waitresses don't wear pink. Everyone wears pink in this little diner, although I did use Strangerville outfits for the I used Strangerville clothing for the host outfits. Actually, it was more the country style I was going for, to make sort of like a host thing that was very casual, very like casual Friday kind of look, but something that the host would wear. Like, they don't have to put in too big of an effort if you're wearing the host, but you got to look like, you know, you work there. So that was the only thing I had to do, so I just used the country style for the outfits, which I was pretty pleased with. They looked pretty good. And I will put this in. I don't know if I will have any Sims go to it yet, but it will be in the world. Maybe if they're heading to Del Sol Valley for some reason, maybe they'll stop by Route 66 on the way to Del Sol Valley, because I like to think that maybe Strangerville will be between Del Sol Valley and some of the other worlds, maybe near Oasis Springs as well. Because it's a really cool looking world, and there's all the pictures now, and you can find it on the gallery under my Origin ID, Ripley Gamer. And if you enjoyed this one, you want to see me do other builds, maybe redo the town hall in Strangerville, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye now.